Do not take notes on electronics, and I'm going to tell you why.
Sorry.
You're going to feel very inspired today, and I'm going to teach you a note-taking trick I learned years ago from a mentor of mine that's going to help you take that inspiration, apply it to your business immediately when you walk out of this door. So for those of you that need, I'm going to have Jolene pass out some full pieces of paper, pens, for those of you that don't have it. And with that, she's going to hand you one of my business cards. But I want to start by, I'm sure all of you have had this experience. How many of you have gone to a networking meeting, to a business function, to a chamber meeting, and it's kind of the same energy level. Everyone's introducing themselves. Oh, I'm from this business. I sell insurance. I'm a real estate agent. I'm one of 50,000 life coaches in this room. Then you get to that one person. That one person who every week they come back seems to have had some miracle happen, and wow, they just found 50 new customers, and now they're hiring 7 more people, and next thing you know, they're now looking for a building. And
That was Scott we're waiting for.
there you go, see? And it just seems to fall into their lap. Have you had that experience?
Yeah, I have.
Yes? Okay, one person has. What about the rest of you all?
Yes.
Okay. How many of you would like to be that person?
Of course. They wouldn't.
Let's try it again. How many of you would like to be that person?
All of us.
Oh, yes.
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Hallelujah.
That's where we're here.
So what I'm going to teach you today, I'm going to teach you today how to start today making miracles happen in your business. From this day on, as you walk out this door, you're going to be that person. You're going to find your success. And the key to that is you. There is nothing greater than the power of you. And when you are in tune with and true to your higher self in your business, miracles happen. I have seen it happen in my life. I've seen it happen with clients. It happens all the time. So, first I want to talk to you a little bit about what your higher self is, because I think we kind of get lost in this who we are mess of life. And I don't know about you guys, but I am just 40 years old, and I've been through probably 3 or 4 midlife crises and new identities. And I have a lot of friends who say, you know, I haven't talked to you for a couple months, and now that I'm back in touch with you, you've got a whole new life, a whole new career, and everything is different in your life. It's like you just started over again. We all want to know who we really are. And there's a way to know that. And I want to introduce you to your higher self today. So as we do that, let me tell you a quick story, because I want to tell you how I learned who I am. So about 8.5 years ago, I went through one of the most intense, one of the most life-changing experiences I've ever had. It was my divorce. On the tail end of that, I decided, hey, I need to figure out what life is about now. What am I doing? So I did what most completely sane divorcees do and got into huge amounts of debt to go and try to get many degrees I thought I wanted. So I was in a master's in counseling program online. And going through this program, it was really fun. I get to learn how the human brain works. Now I can tell you why my little brother keeps saying those weird things he says. Now I get to understand why it is my mom always has that one little thing that she uses to push the buttons of all her kids. But I wasn't really feeling it. Until I hit one class. You had to take a couple of electives in this whole master's program. And the electives that I chose to take were a couple of classes called Introduction to Life Coaching. And light bulbs started going on. So I had a mentor of mine in this program that described it this way. So psychology, counseling, traditional therapy is kind of like this. You have somebody who is a professional at opening that closet where you keep all your skeletons. They will take each one out one by one and throw them at you. Okay, there's that one. You going to deal with it now? Oh, no. Well, what about this one? You ready? Are you better now? Now, a life coach on the other side is somebody who says, okay, this is who you are now. This is who you want to be. Well, how do we build a bridge between here and there? Now, sometimes that does require pull out a skeleton from your closet and deal with it. That's fine. But the goal isn't deal with all the garbage and keep reliving the garbage. The goal is get you to be who you want to be. And it hit. I thought, yeah, that's what I want to do. When I was a kid in school, and this started about junior high age, I had 3 things I wanted to be when I grew up. So how many of you here are exactly what you wanted to be when you grew up? Worked out just the way you thought when you were 8 years old, right? Right? No, okay. So I had 3 things. When I came home from school, I would go lock myself in my room. I would write music. I had this little keyboard plugged into this crappy old computer, and I would just write music. I'd come out, eat dinner, go back to my room, write more music. So I'm sitting there writing music all day long. I'm loving it. I thought, I'm going to be the next Billy Joel. You just watch. Haven't been Billy Joel yet. Second thing I wanted to do. I wanted to be an actor on Broadway. First university I went to was BYU. It was a musical dance theater program. I was loving being the lead of all these musicals. I have not yet performed on Broadway. Third thing I knew I wanted to do. I loved when I got an opportunity to present. In fact, I was that annoying kid in history class in 7th grade that when you're supposed to do a report on such and such time period, oh, I would act it out. I would have costumes. It would be a whole performance. And the students were like, oh my gosh, does he have to go on forever? Really? But what I loved was when I got to inspire someone and could see a light bulb go off. When I could see I touched someone's life. Inspiring others is what I'm about. That's when I got to know my higher self. And a lot of times we get so mixed up in the details of life. Oh, I've got to pay my bills. Oh, I've got to go get the kids from school. I've got to make sure that the house is clean. And we kind of forget who we are at our core without all the external stuff.
And I think it's like in a business, don't you?
Yeah.
When you're working in your business, you're not working on your business.
Absolutely.
And what you're saying here really applies to business.
Absolutely. And we're going to link that bridge in just a few minutes.
That's why you're here.
Absolutely. You're right. So, how many of you would like to spend the next few seconds and actually reintroduce yourself to your higher self and know what that feels like to be in tune?
No, I already did it.
You need it again, Ron. Let's be honest.
He came back.
You did. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to take your right hand, hold it up. I want you to put your right hand on your heart. You're going to close your eyes. I want you to breathe in deeply through your nose, out through your mouth, a couple more times. Now I want you to imagine, I want you to think about someone or something you truly appreciate. Now I want you to think about someone or something you truly have compassion for. Now think about someone or something you have true gratitude for. And lastly, think about someone or something you truly love. Now open your eyes. However you feel right now, however you describe that feeling to yourself, write it down. Write it down. Because you're going to remember that feeling. We're going to use that feeling to make some choices today that'll help you make miracles in your business. So really quick business thing for the rest of the presentation. So here's your piece of paper. This is what I want you to do. I want you to draw a line separating 2/3 of the paper from 1/3 of the paper. And what you're going to do is this. Anything that I ask you a question about, that I tell you to write it down and answer to, because we're going to help you work on your business, you write it all here. When you feel that feeling that you've just felt right now, and a thought comes to your mind, even if it has nothing to do with what I say, it could be as ridiculous as, oh, I need to put on a butterfly costume and learn to interpret a dance. If you feel that feeling, write down the thought you have here. That's your higher self saying, hey, look at this option. What about taking this step in your life? What about doing this with your business? And when you're in tune with and true to your higher self, is when you make miracles in your business. Okay, so everyone got their paper, how it's supposed to be? Good. So, that feeling that you were just in fact, there's an old Cherokee phrase called Shanta Ishta. And there's no real translation for it in the English language, but it more or less means the single eye of the heart. And that's what they describe that state of being in. It's when your feelings and your thoughts, your heart and your mind are in sync with each other. They describe it as a state of being of you knowing what is true for you with zero judgment of what is right or wrong for anyone else. And when you're in that state, that's when you need to be making the important decisions about your company. Who are my target clients? Who are the people I need to coordinate with? Who do I need to collaborate with? What opportunities do I need to take? Because that's when you know you're in sync with your higher self, that is that piece of you that connects to a higher power. It's that piece of you that is divine, that tells you there is more to your life than just paying the bills. There is a reason for everything that happens. So, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about your next steps. And what I want to do is I want to teach you how to be what I call a AAA entrepreneur. Now, this is not your rating on the Better Business Bureau. But what this is these are the 3 A's that I believe help you stay true to your higher self. So A number 1. Okay, Jalene, will you come right for me, please? Thank you. My handwriting is horrible. A number 1 is authenticity. If you are not true in your business, if you are not your business, you are not succeeding. You can get lost in the busyness of your business, and you've lost your business. You don't succeed. And you know, authenticity from an entrepreneur standpoint, and let me give you a little bit of background, by the way, of why I can talk about this. I am a serial entrepreneur. I don't ever keep my sober from starting a new business card for very long. In fact, I get it revoked on almost a weekly basis. I have owned about 8 different companies in my lifetime so far. But authenticity as an entrepreneur means this. It means you do what you can with what you have from where you are. You don't run out and fly by the seat of your pants and try to make something happen that's not really who you are. Hey, I'm a public speaker who loves to come inspire people. Well, yeah, sure, I could probably program your website. I do know how to do that, but that's not me. And that would take so much resources and time and energy. No, that's not me. If I do that, I'm not true to myself. I love to teach. I love to be in front of people. I love to watch light bulbs go off. I love to watch people in the middle of a boring class jump up and go, I understand! It's awesome. I expect one of you to do that today. I'm just
Are you telling me that this is a boring class?
No, you missed when I told a little story beforehand about a class I was teaching last week here on campus of JavaScript. And one of the students jumped up and yelled, I understand. It was great. So, but this is what I want you to do. You think about who you really are. And I want you to ask yourself these questions. Now, the feeling that you wrote down, however you described it, that state of Shanta Ishta, how that feels to you, and I'll tell you how it feels to me. It feels like peace. When I'm making these decisions, when I'm answering questions about myself and my company, I stop and say, do I feel at peace about this? Do I feel that same feeling you just had when we did that little experiment? So I want you to write these questions down. And when you are in that state of being, answer them honestly. Number 1, what is it you are good at? What do you do well? You may not have the answers for these right now. That's okay. But if you do, go ahead. you, I appreciate that. So what are you good at? Did you guys write that one? You with us here? We're taking longer to write up on the board. That's okay, it wasn't your fault. So, what do you love to do most? And you know, sometimes, to answer this question honestly, you got to go back to when you were a kid. Or to the first moment you decided, I want to do this entrepreneur thing because I'm that crazy, and why you're doing it. What is it you love to do most? Question number 3. What about who you are excites others? When do you get those good, happy, smiley, awesome reactions from other people? What are you doing when that happens? Question number 4. This is where you've got to really be honest with yourselves. What is the most difficult part of your company or industry? What is the hardest part of succeeding at what you want to succeed at? Number 5. Now this does not deal with your company or industry. This deals with you as a person. What is your biggest struggle? What is your personal challenge that you need to overcome? And the most important question, I know I'm kind of getting way ahead of her, I'll give her just a second to catch up. Sorry, I talk faster than she writes, go figure.
You know,
You need a bigger marker
while you're
here.
waiting, you know, this, what am I good at? It's typically when you look back in your life and you were the happiest, it's when you were working in your strength. When
Yes.
you were working at something that you love to do. I love to connect people, and that's just something I really enjoy. And it just kind of came naturally, kind of like maybe when I was in elementary, I didn't think of that. It came out.
What do you struggle most with? Yeah, I agree. In fact, let me tell you a quick little experience. And I'm gonna kind of embarrass Lorna for a second. I know I might get in trouble for this. She is my supervisor here at Salt Lake Community College. I recently got hired as a corporate trainer here. And I can tell you, every single time I leave a class, I will either text her or bump into her in the hall. I'm like, man, I love this gig. It is awesome. And I'm thinking, I didn't feel this good when I was trying to sell advertising. I didn't feel this good when I was trying to go out and publish a magazine. But I felt this good teaching. So yeah, what you're good at will light you up.
And you know, if you're building a business and you're starting to hire people, that is something to keep in mind. Because you want them to be happy in the culture that you're developing within your company.
Absolutely. Okay, the most important question, number 6. Why? Why did you get into this business? What is your why? And the deeper that why goes, when you're connecting to your higher self, the more power you will have in what you create. That's where miracles are made, people. So, I'm going to tell you a quick story, and while I do that, I'm going to have Jolene write up here on the board the word simple, from S to E, straight down. Okay, do it over there, that's fine.
Wherever I go.
You can erase the paper too and do that.
I'll do it.
So, the story I want to tell you is about a time I didn't follow my higher self in business. Now, one thing that is very key and crucial to succeeding is having key partners. That is part of the entire lean canvas model that I know you guys are probably familiar with. We're not going to get into the details there of why that's important, but I will tell you, one of the most important business partners I've ever had, right here. She has been with me for years through every crazy idea, through every insane adventure, through everything we thought we were going to be the world's greatest experts at. We're not the world's greatest experts, I'm telling you right now. But she has been loyal. And one of those adventures, a couple years ago, so we had a magazine called The List It became one of the most popular entrepreneur publications in the state of Utah. We had entrepreneurs coming once a month to these little parties we had to launch the new edition of the magazine to pass it out to them. And we had resources in there of who they can connect with for certain things that they need in their business. It was amazing. We had people we didn't even know knew about us go, oh, the List magazine, did you read this and this? I'm like, well, we wrote it. But it just was insane. But as we went to these meetings, we had one question come up over and over and over again. Now I'll tell you, the reason why this worked for me is because at each one of these meetings, I got to get up and train people. So I was happy. I wasn't happy with the rest of it. But, yeah. Which I will tell you right now, her editing skills makes her invaluable.
I have a wife that's an editor, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, yes, exactly. I can speak just fine. When I'm trying to write, it sounds like a retarded monkey eating a rotten banana trying to type Shakespeare. That's why she comes in.
The ideas are awesome. I just polish them up and make them sound better.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
So, but that being said, back to the story. So the List magazine, every single time we had one of these meetings, we'd always have questions and answers. Hey, what are the things you're struggling with as an entrepreneur? What do you want more in your business? What do you think the number one thing was that people wanted help with? Come on, you're entrepreneurs. If somebody could do that for you, what would you love?
Sales.
Oh, sales. Well, it went a little deeper than that. Because people said, well, I see all these other companies getting rich by doing stuff on Facebook. I want to know how to go onto Facebook and create all this money. How do I do that? So we came up with the brilliant idea, well, if we give people what they're asking for, they'll give us all their money, right? We started a Facebook ad agency. It was great. Especially the first part of how we operated was amazing. We would come up to someone, we would meet with them and say, all right, let's talk about your business. Let's get to know you better. Let's see where your real value is. Oh my gosh, if we could communicate that type of value to customers, they would just light up. They would think it's the most amazing thing ever. They will throw money at you. That part went great. Consulting, coaching was awesome.
The throwing money part.
No, yeah, that was pretty good too.
Yeah.
Then we would take all the notes from those meetings, we'd go back to our office, we'd sit them on the desks, and me and her and one other partner would at some point during the week have a conversation that went something like this. Which one of us was supposed to actually create the ad and put it up on Facebook? I don't know, I thought it was Jessica that was going to do it. Wait, wasn't Jolene supposed to do that one? No, Jolene was making the emails. Oh. How successful do you think we were?
Not.
No. We bombed. That was one of the biggest failures we ever had. And we all three had to come to the realization. We hate Facebook. We did before we got started. If you hate Facebook, don't start a Facebook ad agency. I'm going to tell you right now. It won't work. But what I learned...
You gotta believe it.
Now, if you love money more than you hated Facebook, that still might be worth it.
We made some money.
No, but you didn't love the money enough to be willing to
But-
deal with
but
Facebook.
You are right.
Were you at peace with it? That's-
No, I was not. I dreaded work every day.
Hate it.
Now, so we're going to teach you right now. This is a little acronym I've used with a lot of business clients. How to make your business succeed in a very simple way. Now, it's not easy, but it is simple. And it starts with this. You have these pieces in place in the right order, you will have a successful business. Number one is systems. Whatever you do in your business, you need to create some system that helps you do it easier. Now, I want you to do this, because a lot of times, and I can tell already, some of you are getting overwhelmed, like I hear this all the time. I got to systemize, I got to come up with a script, I got to do this, I've got to come up with an email list, and you're just, okay. You don't have to do everything that everybody tells you you can do. You have to do what you need to do for your company and the way you operate. In fact, it was interesting. We were talking before ELP got started, and I'm sorry, your name's Matt?
Yeah.
Okay, and Matt was talking about how he's really good at doing this part of his business, but he should be doing this. And Jolene pointed out, well, if you're really good at doing this, and this is where you shine, why not just keep doing that?
That's what
Now there is some pivoting necessary, but
money doing it.
there you go. But this is the question I want you to write down and ask yourself about systems for your company. And it's not even a question, it's a statement that you're going to fill in the blank to. I want, and make sure it's want and not need. I want an easy way to blank. You fill in that blank. Whatever your business is, I want an easy way to find more customers. I want an easy way to talk to people without leaving my office. I want an easy way to get more interpretive dance gigs in my butterfly costume. Okay? The I in the simple model, is infrastructure. Oh. Do you remember at the beginning when I talked to you guys about the networking meetings and that one guy who seems to just have success fall in his lap every time he comes? There he is. He's right there.
That's the way Scott breathes.
Oh, I know Scott pretty well. What's funny is I'm actually one of his clients because of one of those meetings.
Yeah.
But infrastructure, these are the tools, these are the things you need to operate effectively. So here's the statement you're going to fill in the blank for on infrastructure. I want tools that help me blank. I want tools that help me communicate with more customers. Okay. Don't go out and get all the tools that everyone else has. Get the tools that help you do what you want to do. Next, M. This is my favorite one. No bias here. M is mentors. So I am going to, right now, with this next statement, save every one of you $45,000.
Ready.
That excites her. And I will tell you that because I've spent in my lifetime the equivalent of about $45,000 on mentors and programs and ways to do this and ways to market this. That didn't work for me. So here are two statements I want you to fill in the blanks for on mentors. When you are choosing people to mentor you, I want to learn blank. You decide what you want to learn before you go find the mentor. Don't have a mentor tell you what you should learn. If they're not teaching what you want to learn, not your mentor. Let them mentor someone else.
You know, that's such a good point with the store.
Yeah.
You know, they have a lot of old men, and younger men, then they actually have a lot of women. And so when somebody calls in and tells them, this is what I'm looking for, the thing is so much broader today than when I first met these guys 7, 8 years ago.
Absolutely.
So that if you say, this is what I want, more than likely, they're gonna be able to say, yeah, we've got somebody.
Absolutely. Okay, your second statement under mentors. I want to be held accountable for blank. If you want to find someone that can hold you accountable for doing your sales calls, you find a mentor who's an expert at sales calls. And so many times, there's a lot of noise out there, guys. There is a lot of noise. So many times, we get caught up in this ad or the other that says, well, I made $800,000 in a weekend. I'm going to show you how. Just pay me $1,000. I'll bet you made $800,000 in a weekend by getting all these people to pay you $1,000.
Well, you just need 800
You
people.
got 80 people.
800 people, you got 800,000.
There you go, see?
You got 8.
So, the P. This is the people. Now, the people in your business are not just employees, not just partners. In fact, look around the room. These are people that could be a support in your business. Sometimes, it's just someone you connect with that gives you an idea. Sometimes, it's, oh, I just don't want to do my own bookkeeping. I'm hiring an accountant that I work with once a month. Sometimes it's, hey, this business does this, I do this, we should trade. But you've got to get the right people in place because nobody becomes great on their own. So the statement you're going to fill in here, I want someone who can blank. You're focused on the results you get from these partnerships with these people. I want someone who can blank. Now you decide, are they a partner? Are they someone you hire? Are they someone you work with on a trade? Whatever. But make sure they're fulfilling what you want. Now L. This is what we've been talking about in this authenticity. This is you've got to do something you love. You can work and work and work for the money, even though it's something you don't like. That's going to burn you out at some point. I promise, I've had the experience. I have to keep relearning that experience because, hey, money looks shiny, let's go do the money thing. No, I don't like that. Let's go back over here where it was fun. You have to do something you love. So here's the statement I want you to fill in. I want to focus my energy on blank. What do you want to spend your time doing that would make you happy? I want to focus my energy on speaking, on coaching, on teaching. Guess what I'm doing right now? You focus your energy on what you love. And then the last one, E, is excites others. And that is so crucial because at the crossroads of what you love and what excites others is where you find you're making miracles in business. Am I right, Scott?
Yeah.
So, the statement I want you to fill in for excites others. I want to connect with others who blank. I want to connect with others who are open-minded, ready to be inspired, and want to make miracles in their own life and business. Okay, so we're moving on to A number 2.
So what was that last piece again? I want what?
I want to connect with others who blank. A number 2. So first off, wait, before you write it, I want to ask a question. Oh, and before I forget, you notice every one of those statements was want and not need. You are not in some desperate state of need. You are creating what you want because you're an entrepreneur. You are a business leader. You are a founder. You are somebody ready to make miracles in your life through your business. So you get to choose and ask for what you want. So, here's my question for you. How many of you, from the day you started as an entrepreneur, have had nothing but success and it's been just this beautiful, happy ride? Don't even try, Matt.
I've never seen anybody ever bring.
Okay, you gotta cut that into pieces though.
No, I'm not. And there's a reason I'm not. So now, next question.
It's almost a glory.
Next question, why? No, I'm not even going to ask why. We're going to backpedal a little bit. So, have any of you ever had any failures along the way in your entrepreneur road? Anybody?
Yes.
Anybody who's failed, put your hand up.
Yeah, right.
It was great.
Well,
I learned
I never
some
saw
good
it.
stuff.
I never said that. I didn't say it was a permanent failure. But, let me tell you right now, every one of those failures, every one of those bumps on the road is all your fault.
I know.
That second A is accountability. If you don't accept something the way it is, you can't change it. So, we're going to do another quick little experiment. Once you're done writing that word down, all of you that are taking diligent notes, which awesome, you're going to get so much out of this. I want you to close your eyes again. And then we should have warned you beforehand. I get really vulnerable with my audiences.
They brought a pillow or something? It was cool.
No, you don't want a pillow for this one. You're going to be powerful right now. So close your eyes. I want you to imagine you are an amazingly powerful sorcerer. You've got all the magic in the world. Anything you think happens. You can create this world in any way you want. You can color it any way you want. You can make it sound like anything you want it to sound like. Now open your eyes. Look around you. Look at the world you created. The reality is, you create your world. You create your success. You create your obstacles with everything you think, say, do, feel. You are creating. Every choice you make is part of making miracles or not in your business. So, I am a huge believer in the laws of karma, by the way. I try to live my life by them. Doesn't always work. I'm not perfect. But I love digging into and understanding how what energy I puts out comes back to me and in what ways. And so I'm not going to cover all 12 laws of karma. We just don't have the time for that today. But I do want to cover a couple of them. So law number 2. This is the law of creation. The law of creation in the laws of karma states you create in your life and attract into your life what you are. not what you want. I'm going to tell you when I learned about this in my life. So I had a web design and development company in South Texas for a few years. Very successful. Lots of money. I loved the money. I hated the job. Guess what? I'm not doing it anymore. But I noticed over and over again, I would sit with someone and I'd talk to them about a website. It's great, and here's my pricing, $5,000. Oh, well, if I make you a taco, can we cut $1 off of that? Oh, well, what if I give you a back rub? Can I cut $15 off of that? Every time I turned around, they were shaving value off of what I'm trying to give them. And it dawned on me this happened with every single person I talked to. So I started looking at this law of karma. You attract what you are, not what you want. I started to notice in my own life, I wanted to get the most for the least amount of money possible in everything. I could be at Wendy's and, gosh darn it, I want an extra patty on there and I want to pay for it. I don't care. No, what can I do to get that patty for free? Guess what I was attracting to me? Customers just like me.
Yeah, right.
You attract what you are.
You know what, along that same,
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was, but they said, you know, you can tell where you're at by if you check to see what the gas cost is.
Oh, yeah.
This is if you're looking at that when you pull into a gas station trying to find the cheapest, he goes, that's the kind of life you're deciding on.
It may destroy.
Absolutely.
You're gonna get the cheapest.
But you're not wrong. In fact,
40 cents.
and in fact, Scott, I can tell you, one of the most dear people in my life, she's kind of the opposite of me in that way now. I don't look at the gas price. I don't look at the price tag on anything. I might walk out with a thermos that cost me $35 and not realize it till afterwards. And she's got 4 coupons to get it for free. And making sure that, in fact, we've already decided her epitaph is going to say, well, because it was on sale. But you're not wrong. The energy you put out is what you attract to you. So, next law of karma I want to talk about is law number 5. Law number 5 in the laws of karma is the law of responsibility. And this states that the world around you is a reflection of you. And you choose to create any world you want around you. Because whatever energy you put out will be reflected to you. And you notice, I did not get up here like a lot of presenters and talk to you about my background, all the stuff I've done, this is who I am, etc., etc., etc. I didn't do that for a reason. Because right now, every single one of you is seeing something of yourself in me and connecting to that part of it.
Yeah, did you notice I didn't introduce you?
I noticed. But you are now seeing a reflection of you in what I'm saying. And this is touching each one of you in a different way. And it's supposed to. That's how karma works. Your world is not my world. Your world is not her world. So every thought, every feeling, every word, every action, every choice you make, you are adding another stroke into a masterpiece that is the drawing of what your life is going to be. If you don't like how the picture looks, it's time to look at you. And on that note, we do have a song we want to share with you. That's one that I wrote that talks about just that principle.
This will end on a happy note.
Well, this isn't the end. This is in the middle.
This is the
To know.
beginning. This is just the beginning.
This is the intermission where you get to
Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping you're going to listen to the lyrics and really get something out of this too. A face, smile, world turned upside down, a tear, a frown, the dark, the night, longing to get it right, a map, the day, beauty on the page, or a demon that you fear. Draw me a picture of life, one that can show me the way. Draw me a picture of life, then I'll know just what to say. The hope, the joy, the pieces that make you whole, the loss, the end. Thank you guys. So, I want to point out with that second A, you are drawing the picture of your own life. You know, I love to teach my kids over and over again this one principle, that no matter who you come in contact with, no matter how brief the interaction is, you're going to do one of two things with that person. You will either lift them or lower them. There is no stagnation. And it could be as simple as someone from across the hall that you either smiled at or looked away from. You decide what the picture of your life is going to look like. Okay, so now we're getting to A number 3. This is the big one. And I'll tell you, so I'm sure you've probably figured this out by now. I'm a very spiritual person. I very much love to get into not only laws of karma, but I love the ideas of the laws of manifestation and things like that. And I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the book, The Secret. Okay, so The Secret is this secret, ancient knowledge of how all these great masters became great things. And basically what the book tells you to do is you've got to believe, you've got to think, and you've got to talk about what you want, and it'll just magically happen. It doesn't happen like that. Yes, you do have to believe. Yes, you do have to think about it. Yes, you do have to focus it. For example, what's that? That is the beginning, yes. If you don't believe and don't know what it would feel like to be a millionaire, you're probably not going to become a millionaire because you won't act like someone who believes they can be a millionaire. But did you notice the A word I put in that last statement? You won't act like someone who becomes a millionaire. That third A is action. So, interesting story. And I did not realize, I blame it on ADD, but I did not realize how much of an action person I was until a dear friend of mine, and in fact, I think Scott was there at this meeting, so you can back me up on this one. I was sitting in a meeting in this room with a leader of another entrepreneur group who is horrible with names. And so for the longest time, and I was coming for months, my name wasn't Daryl. It was Darren, it was Derek, I think at one point it was Dilbert, something with a D. Just not Daryl. And the funny thing is, this man knew me even outside the meeting. So at one point, the joke came up, oh, we're just going to call him the Big D because we don't remember what his name is anymore. But I love what they did to that. They said, yeah, he's the Big D because he's a doer. I had a very interesting experience that was very humbling to me. So one of the things, I will tell you, anything I talk about, I practice. Every single thing you see on this board, I have asked myself, I have applied to my business, I have been introspective to see where I am. And one of my mentors, public speaking mentor, was working with me just a couple weeks ago. And we were working on my speaker one sheet and getting it to be a little more succinct so we can send it out to places that are really looking for some powerful speakers. And I thought I had the perfect one sheet. I sent it to her. She goes, well, it's confusing. You should get rid of all of this and just put one thing in there and do everything over. I'm like, you know what? She's succeeding. I've got to listen to her. I'm going to do it. 20 minutes after our phone call, I sent it back to her. All of a sudden, I get tagged in this post about how awesome a student Daryl Sean Price is because I told him to do something and he did it. I'm thinking, is it really that rare that people do things? The answer is yes. There is one thing that separates the hugely successful from those who had dreams they never achieved. they kept going. They kept doing. They kept taking action, which Scott kind of already alluded to. He's not failing because he kept going.
Yeah, Edison knew 10,000 ways the light bulb did not work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that brings me to my next law of karma. Law of karma number 11. I can't hold up 11 fingers. But I'll hold my finger. Law of karma number 11.
Teamwork.
Yeah. This is the law of patience and reward. This is also the law I like to call the Bon Jovi law. So, this was funny reaction I got last time I asked this. Down in Orem Tuesday, I did this presentation, same one. And I said, so how many of you are familiar with Bon Jovi? And I expected, oh yeah, everybody. There was like 3 people in the front of the room like, I don't know who he is. What? Okay, how many people are familiar with Bon Jovi?
I've heard the name.
My heart! I feel like we should hide the American flag just here. Yeah, he was. So Bon Jovi is one of the most famous American rock stars of all time. Very big in the 80s and into the 90s. He's still out touring. And
Still sing, actually.
oh yeah, he's
I
amazing.
like it, some of the others.
And he's good. He is very good. And he writes all his own music. And so he was an overnight success. Notice what I'm doing with my fingers.
Yeah.
He was an overnight success. Because all of a sudden this 20-something-year-old kid who dropped out of high school and bam, he's on the Billboard charts. He was not an overnight success, guys. This is how Bon Jovi's childhood went. Starting about 7th grade, he would go to school and promptly walk out the back door, sneak over to the local bar and start playing in bands. How they legally let him in, I don't know. By the way, stay in school, kids, if you're watching this. I don't encourage you to do that.
Those are the good old days, man.
But he would play in bands, and he would play every day, which is why he eventually dropped out of high school. He wasn't getting any grades. But what he did is he spent all his energy on a consistent basis on music. Next thing you know, he hits his 20s. He's a master musician. How many hours does it take to be a master at something?
10,000.
Yes. So he put in his 10,000 hours. He just started a lot earlier than most of us do in our dreams. The law of patience and reward states this. You get great rewards by putting in persistent and patient effort into something. Do you want to be a great master at whatever it is you decide you do? Do it every day. Pretty soon, in 1 year from now, you've done 365 days straight of that thing. In 2 years from now, even more. The more consistent effort you put into that thing, the more great the reward you get out of it. So how many of you can imagine what success really looks like to you in whatever your business is? Do you have an idea of where you want to be? Do you know how that feels? Do you know how much money it is you're making on a monthly or yearly basis? Can you imagine that? I'm hoping everyone in here is saying yes in their head because no one's saying it out loud.
I know exactly what I'm making.
Good. I'm glad. So this is what I want you to do.
Do everything for free.
Oh, well, there you go. This is what I want you to do. I want you to imagine yourself 5 years from now. If everything that you plan succeeds. I want you to decide, how does that feel now that I'm there 5 years from now? What does it look like? What does it sound like? You know, get specific. Hey, my office looks like this. I have this hand-carved marble thing with these weird faces on it for a desk, because I could. I've got my butterfly costume hanging up in my office. I'm in this high-rise building looking over a huge sky. Whatever it is to you.
What car are you driving? That's what I want.
Okay, I'm going to go really geeky here.
All right.
Just to let you know. I'm driving an old original DeLorean that actually looks like it's from the movie.
Wow.
Because, yes, that's just me.
You knew it.
Yeah, I did. So what car are you driving? Imagine this 5 years from now. 5 years from now when everything is succeeding the way you want it to. I want you to imagine that. And you know what, Ron? I think we've got a little more time this am going to make them partner up.
You did well.
Thank you. So, we got started a lot earlier. You're going to pick someone in this room you don't know very well.
We got about 10 minutes.
Then I don't.
I have 10
know very
minutes?
well.
Okay. Perfect. This is actually a perfect amount of time. You find someone in this room you don't know very well. You're going to partner up with them and you're going to describe to them what that success looks like 5 years from now. You're going to take 5 minutes and do that. Ready? Pick someone. I want to hear you talking about it. Okay. There's exactly an even number of people here. Come on.
I'll move.
I don't know you very well, actually.
Go grab one.
Okay.
Go partner with someone.
Come over, partner with me.
There you go.
I gotta have somebody better looking than he is.
All right, all right.
Where are you going to be in 5 years?
5 years from now.
Oh.
Now that you're completely successful in 5 years, what does
In
that
other
look
words,
like?
what your ultimate
Okay.
trial.
The name of the laying around.
That's exactly what I told my daughter.
I would,
She said, I'm not gonna retire until I catch my talking to you.
Where am I?
I won't be here.
Okay, take another minute and then switch partners.
Here we go. Let me see it.
So that's what I want. Surrounded by people.
I can't. You know, in 5 years, I'm gonna be.
Oh, really?
But the process is.
That's it.
Should it be more?
Well, I don't know.
Okay, go ahead and switch. Other partner describe.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
5 years from now.
Don't believe it for a
This is
second.
mine.
My strengths are
You can stay in the balance sheet. 1.2 million.
interesting. And then I would believe it. I had my angel help. My youngest is about 24.
Net worth of 2.2 billion.
Businesses and property.
Okay, take one more minute and then we're going to finish this up.
Yeah, probably not. My daughter's taking me away.
My goal is to be debt first, be debt free.
So are you gonna be successful? You continue your Sean? And probably. So then that you will be successful.
Yep, that's basically it.
Okay, let's wrap it up.
I don't think it's gonna be messy, doesn't exciting.
Okay, come back together as a group. I want to talk about this for just a couple more minutes and we'll wrap up.
That's gotta be that first.
You know what, they really like this. They're having a hard time breaking it up.
I can tell. So, now that you have an idea of what success looks like 5 years from now, put yourself in the mindset of that person 5 years from now. Because now is where we get to take action. You only get to act in the now. Yeah, you have a past that has taught you a lot. You have a future with where you're going. But the actions you take are this moment and this moment only. This moment is the moment you are going to decide to make a miracle in your business. And this is what I want you to do. Imagine yourself 5 years from now, and what is the one thing you will have looked back and said, man, I am so grateful on that day sitting in that room, I decided to take this step. What is that step that you're going to take now? And I want you to be specific about that. By when will you take that step? I want you to be willing to ask for the help you need to take that step. Remember the simple model we had up there. So be willing to ask people around you, say, hey, I'm taking this step in my business. I need help. I need someone who can, or I want someone who can blank. Think about it and be honest with yourself. What is your biggest obstacle to taking that step? And how can you create whatever it is you want so you succeed at that step? So here's my challenge to you. From the big D, Mr. Doer himself, you each should have one of my business cards. It has my cell phone number on it. I challenge you this week to decide what your next step is, and you're going to text it to me. Maybe I can help you with it, maybe I can't, doesn't matter. Because what you've decided right now is I'm going to take action on that step. You're putting that energy out. Guess what comes back to you? And I am willing to, as my gift to you guys, help any of you with whatever that step is that I can. Or try to connect you to somebody who can. So all of you, will you text me this week what your next step is in your success? Okay, try that again. Will you text me this week what your next step is?
Yes.
I will tell you in person.
Okay? I appreciate it, guys. I am very humbled to be here. I love presenting. I love teaching. I love being a part of all of the creating that happens with entrepreneurs. Do you have any questions? We covered a lot of
The
stuff.
thing I love about what you did today, you know, we talk about the lean canvas, the business model canvas, you know, but you know what, that can be the best thing in the world, but that last, hey, if we don't take action on it and do it,
Yep.
it will be still the greatest program in the world, but we need to do it.
Your greatest ideas, your most wonderful dreams, the most awesome imaginations ever, never happen without action. Does anyone else have any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I've got one. Are you gonna be successful in 5 years? I think
Absolutely.
I believe
Absolutely.
that, okay?
I will be insanely successful in 5 years. I'm going to be traveling around the nation speaking. I will have the book Making Miracles finally completed and being sold. Yes, I will.
And, you know, we can say we knew you.
Yes, you can.
I hope you continue to know us when we get famous.
Oh, absolutely. Like we've already said, Ron, you are one of the most unforgettable people we know.
That
And you
is
know what?
true.
You said the word book. Scott and I go back a few years. And, you know, if you want to be an expert, let him introduce you as an author.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. Right, Scott?
Yeah.
That's just,
Sure.
just the way it is.
I don't know, do you know what an expert is? I'm not sure I want to ever be called an expert.
Oh.
An X is a has-been, and a skirt's an drip under pressure.
Well, actually, if it's a has-been drip under pressure, well, now you got the faucet fully on.
Problem of it is, that if you're an expert, you have both things you have to fall back on.
Gotcha. Any other questions? Anything else?
I thought a guy that was an expert was a guy that was 50 miles from home with the police.
Could be. All right, guys, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thanks to your assistant that we can actually read.